'Tis the season for open enrollment, when millions of us choose their insurance and benefits for the next year. That's right. Those decisions can impact our health, our wealth, our peace of mind. So, of course, we call on NBC senior business correspondent Christine Romans. This is her most favorite time of the year.
It's her Super Bowl.
That's right, to talk about benefits. Hey, Christine.
Hi, guys. No, look, this is really important. The choices that you make in open enrollment will save you money next year. So it's really kind of important to set some time aside and really figure out what you want to do here. Who are we talking about? If you work for a company that has more than 50 people, your employer-sponsored insurance benefits every year come up for you to re-sign up for. So that's you. The Affordable Care Act, people who are on the Obamacare exchanges, this is your timeline, November 1st to December 15th. And for the 67 million American seniors on Medicare, there are some big changes this year, so you'll want to sit down with a pen and paper and with your spouse or your kids and figure out what the Medicare changes are for you. So that's the timeline for Medicare until December 7th.
I find this time is so stressful because it's, you're filling out the forms. It's pay now, pay later.
Yeah.
How can you predict what's going to happen this year?
That's a perfect way to think about it, pay now or pay later. And you can predict what's going to happen this year by looking at what happened last year. Maybe add 7% for the cost of healthcare inflation to it so you'll know kind of how much money you spent last time. So you can think of it like this, pay now versus pay later. Pay later means you have lower monthly fees, less premiums coming out of your paycheck. But then when you go and use healthcare, you might have to pay more. And so that's basically for people who don't go to the doctor a lot, you don't have a chronic condition, you don't have a prescription that you need filled all the time, right? So pay later is something, or pay now rather, is when you pay higher fees right up front, but then when you go to the doctor, you're not going to, be nickeled and dimed. So you just have to decide. If you have a chronic condition, you probably want to pay now. If you're relatively healthy and your kids are healthy, you want to do the pay later. Okay. And, you check last year's numbers again and add a little bit for this year and see how much you think you're going to have to spend.
I mean, the reality is this isn't sexy, but it's important.
It's really important.
Especially, and you just called my attention to something that I did not know. If your company is actually switching insurance carriers, you really probably want to look into some of this.
Yeah.
HSAs, FSAs, like the difference between the two,
okay.
Would you consider using those?
So HSAs, if you are eligible for an HSA, you should use this. This is a no-brainer. If you have a high deductible insurance policy, this is something that you can put money in the stock market tax-free. It grows tax-free, and then you can use it to pay healthcare expenses either today or down the road tax-free. It's really a no-brainer.
How far down the road?
Like 10 years, 20 years. You can move it. I mean, there are a lot of really smart people who stash as much money as they can in this every year, and they don't use it to pay healthcare expenses now. They're just using it to grow so they can use it in their retirement.
I was about to say, is there somebody in your company who can help you with that? I feel like it sounds good in theory, but a lot of people, that's intimidating.
Yeah, you got to go on the website. But the FSA is available, is much more readily available, and that's the one that you use it or lose it. You put money aside, and you can pay for contacts. You can pay for a lot of different things. Sunscreen. You can pay for moisturizer, vitamins, lots of different things. You just have to keep your receipts and make sure that you claim that at the end of the year.
On that note, are there other benefits an employer provides that maybe we should consider?
Yeah, you want to look at dental. You want to look at vision. That's really important here. A dependent daycare FSA. If you have little kids, I know, $5,000 a year. It's really easy, free money. So if you are paying someone, like even for summer camps, I've used it to pay for summer camps before. So dependent daycare FSA can help you with the child care costs. And there's disability and life insurance. Make sure you assign your beneficiaries. You'd be surprised how many people pay for this extra insurance and then they don't have a beneficiary. So make sure you do that. There's a lot of other things in this open enrollment that's going to be saving money for you, or at least peace of mind in the future.
Okay, you're talking to your parents, or you're of retirement age. What do we need to know about Medicare?
So there's some really important changes happening to Medicare. The government, the Biden administration negotiated a $2,000 cap on prescription out-of-pockets. That starts this year. So you're not going to pay more than $2,000 a year if you're on Medicare for your medicine. That is really important. But that also means the insurers are making other changes to try to pay for it. So you need to go in there and make sure the 67 million seniors on Medicare. So there are some changes this year, probably the most changes we've seen in a really long time. So you want to make sure that you look at that and get the right program for you. And again, enlist your kids, enlist your sister to sit down and really go through all that.
Okay, that was great information.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Craig, we can talk later. I'll do a one-on-one session with you.
Seriously. I have two very specific questions.
All right.
Thank you.
Can't wait to hear this. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.